हाय एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू iQuanta's यूट्यूब क्लासरूम। और आज हम इडियम एंड फ्रेजेस के सेशन नंबर 9 पे पहुंच चुके हैं। कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस टू यू गाइस। और बहुत ही मेहनत आप लोग कर रहे हैं। आई सी योर कमेंट्स एंड आई फील रियली हैप्पी। बहुत ही क्या बताऊँ, अच्छा लगता है मुझे। इट्स रियली गुड कि आप लोग बहुत अटेंशन पे कर रहे हो और बहुत ही अच्छे से अपने idioms एंड फ्रेजेस याद करते हो। और कोई idiom एंड फ्रेज फॉर एग्जांपल मैं मिस भी कर दूँ तो यू गाइज एक्चुअली राइट देम डाउन इन द कमेंट बॉक्स ताकि सब लोग पढ़ सकें, which is a very very beautiful thing to see this community build in a sense that everybody wants to help everybody, which is a very beautiful thing. As a teacher, I really appreciate and I really root on this thing that okay, my students are there and they are like, they're strong, there's no jealousy, nothing. Definitely there's competition between everybody because obviously सब लोगों को आगे निकलना है कहीं ना कहीं, but it's better अगर हम competition खुद से ही रखें एंड खुद से हर दिन कुछ कदम आगे निकल जाएं और बेहतर हो, राइट? चलो, तो आज हम और थोड़ा बेहतर होते हैं, कुछ और नए इडियम्स पढ़ते हैं, कुछ और नए इडियम्स को याद करते हैं, लिखते हैं और अपने डेली लाइफ में यूज़ करते हैं। ऑलराइट, चलो लेट्स बिगिन एंड let's fly together. This is session number 9, as you guys know. Let me select the pen first. Idiom and phrases, and let's begin. So number 1 idiom here is if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits, then what? Accept it. If the shoe fits, wear it. This is the full it's the full idiom, it's the full version of this idiom, which actually means that if basically a description, maybe a criticism, or let's say a statement is basically true for someone, maybe you, maybe I, then we should accept it, right? Even if it's unpleasant, even if it's a criticism. Usually it is a criticism when it comes to this particular phrase, this particular idiom. So it is usually a criticism, but this particular idiom says that accept it. If the shoe fits, wear it. This is what it says. And if we talk about exams, then it is actually used to suggest self recognition or acceptance of criticism. I'm so sorry, right? So yep, if a description applies to you, accept it. This is what the particular I'm so sorry, something's being annoying. Okay, all right. Yeah, so example, he called her selfish. If the shoe fits, she should reflect on it, right? So basically, if any description, it applies to you, if it's true, then just accept it, right? Even if it's criticism, let's just take it in. All right, it takes two to tango. Basically, ताली एक हाथ से नहीं बजती. This is what this idiom actually means. Basically, both parties involved in a situation are equally responsible for it. Whether it's a conflict, let's say, whether it's an argument or maybe a cooperative endeavor, it suggests that a situation involving two people cannot happen with just one person's participation, right? And both are accountable for the outcome, whatever it is. Both are actually accountable. This is what it takes two to tango means. Some action situations require two parties involvement or responsibility. Don't blame only her for the fight. It takes two to tango. ताली एक हाथ से नहीं बचती, समझे, हवा में टंग टंग टंग, फिर तो चपाटा लगता है. That's it. Alright. Next is I'll eat my hat. How weird does that sound? I'll eat my hat, or I would eat my hat. Basically, this expression is basically used to express extreme certainty that something will not happen, right? For example, if she wins the race, I'll eat my hat. That's how we say it, right? Basically, the speaker is so confident in their belief that they are willing to do something so absurd, something so weird, like eating their hat. This is what it actually suggests. If basically their prediction is wrong, if, for example, I gave you this example, right, that if she wins the race, I will eat my hat. So if my prediction is wrong, I'm so confident that my prediction wouldn't be wrong, and if it gets wrong, I'll do something so absurd that I'll just eat my hat, right? It's so weird. Basically, the phrase is a hyperbole, which means extreme. uh, you know it's basically emphasizing disbelief and belief in something, right? So it's a hyperbole. Hyperbole is basically an exaggeration of something, right? So it is an exaggeration. Obviously, I'm not going to eat my hat, but yeah, this is what it suggests. Express strong certainty that something will not happen. Willingness to accept big humiliation if wrong. If he wins the match, I'll eat my hat. This is what the example says. Then there's iron out. Iron out is basically to resolve problems, difficulties, or disagreements through how do I say, discussion and negotiation. So resolve problem or smooth out differences through discussions, negotiations, or like basically a calm arrangement, right? That's when we iron out. We need to iron out the details before signing. Okay. In living colors, basically vivid, realistic, or strikingly lifelike. That's when we say in living colors. So in real life with real details, that's what in living colors means. The novelist described the city in living colors, which means with real details, like really lifelike, right? In league with, so in league with basically means collaborating or conspiring with someone. So basically in a close cooperation, or in partnership with often with someone basically, and often secretly, or in a conspiracy. That's when we use in league with. And the company example says the company was found to be in league with illegal suppliers. So secretly, in a conspiracy, so it is basically, it has a secretive connotation, this particular idiom. All right. In the fray basically to join an energetic and often not well organized effort, activity, fight, or disagreement. That's when we use in the fray. Actively involved in a conflict or competitive situation. Several startups entered the fray to compete for market share. Then there's one more which says above the fray. Above the fray, which means not directly involved in an angry or difficult struggle or disagreement, right? Not directly. So we use above the fray. Otherwise, in the fray. Then there can be, because we are talking about in and above, so in a bind, In a bind is basically in a troublesome or difficult situation, because above the phrase, like, not being directly involved in an or difficult situation. So in a bind is basically in a difficult or troublesome situation. Then there can be in touch. You must have heard it. So in touch basically means, connected with somebody. I am in touch with her. That means I am communicating with this person and I am connected with them. Then there can be in high, HIGH, spirit. In high spirit, which means cheerful and living, right? That's it. And in one's infancy. So you must have heard this word infant, right? Which is used for children, like very very small kids जो कि अभी born हुए हैं, right? So in one's infancy basically means something that is in its very very early stage and is new and is still developing. That's when we use in one's infancy, at an early or underdeveloped stage. The technology is still in its infancy. So what I mean to say is that it's still in its developing state. It's very new, right? Right. In the interim, or it is also called in the meantime. Or you must have heard meanwhile, right? Basically, in the meantime or in the interim actually means during the time between two events. In the interim is basically used formally. So it actually means during the time between two events, right? So you must have heard people saying, or you must use it yourself also, that I'll bring the juice, in the meantime you prepare the table, right? Like that. So मतलब इन दो events के बीच में कि मैं juice लेके आऊँ, उसके बीच में you just prepare the table for dinner, right? For the time being, which means temporarily until something else happens. We'll hire a temp in the interim, which means in between, जब तक temporarily है, we'll hire somebody, right? If looks could kill, basically it actually means that a person's look is so angry, so disgusted or disapproving that it could be metaphorically fatal, right? It could be so fatal that it might kill somebody. So if looks could kill, his would have killed me. Well, basically, it is used to describe an intensely powerful and negative gaze that implies extreme anger or disapproval, right? Or disappointment. So used to describe a very angry or hostile facial look, like that. Okay, she gave him a look that could kill after his rude comment. All right. Somebody like that deserves to be killed. Okay, anyway. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So this is basically a phrase which actually advises against meddling with things that are working adequately, and they caution that trying to fix something that is already working, that isn't broken, may cause more problems, may cause more new problems actually. So don't try to fix something that's not broken, right? If something doesn't require your your labor or your effort, just don't make it, right? So this is what it suggests. Avoid unnecessary changes to things that function well. The software worked fine, so the team followed team followed. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So this they just said it. Idiom चिपका दिया वहाँ पे इन्होंने. In a nutshell, what happened to the font of this particular idiom? Okay, anyway, I made a mistake. Well, in a nutshell, basically to summarize something in the fewest words possible, basically concise. So that's when we use in a nutshell, stated very briefly in a summary. So in a nutshell, the plan won't work without more funds. All right. In a pickle, again, there's something wrong with this I don't know why. Anyway, in a pickle, basically a troublesome situation is called, like this phrase is used in a troublesome situation, in a difficult or awkward situation. He found himself in a pickle when two clients wanted the same date. इसी की तरह एक हो सकता है in a jam. In a jam is also, you know, in difficult or trouble, basically in difficulty or trouble. Then there can be in hot water. In hot water also means in trouble, especially in this case in hot water, especially with the authorities. You are in trouble. In a jam, when you're in a jam, you're in trouble, you're in difficulty. But when you say in hot water, you're in trouble but with the authorities. In the nick of time, basically just before, you know, it is too late. That's when you use in the nick of time. Basically it is used to emphasize that something happened at the latest possible opportunity, or just in time to prevent a negative outcome maybe, or something that could have happened, right? So just in time, at the last possible moment, at the latest possible opportunity, at the last moment, at the edge of time, right? The ambulance arrived in the nick of time. All right. In the bag, basically something is, when we say in the bag, it's in the bag. It's basically that something is a sure success, basically a certainty, or as good as a win or achieved, something that's achieved. That's when we use in the bag, certain or assured, already won or guaranteed. With that lead, victory looked in the bag. So that kind of a lead, basically, let's say a race started and a runner was so fast, an athlete was so fast that he had a lead of around 20 meters, right? तो 20 मीटर वो बाकी के एथलीट से है. That means it's a good league, it's a good lead, right? So that's when we say victory looked in the bag. That means it was a sure shot success or sure shot win. अब ऐसे ही in the bag की तरह हो सकता है in the boat, in the same boat, sorry, in the same boat. Basically two people who are sharing the same situation or a same problem. So that's when we say we're in the same boat, right? So some of the faculties, like whenever we talk and we discuss about our common problems, that's when we say that we are in the same boat, yeah. And we do understand each other very, 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 very well. That it's like quite, like it's too relatable. Okay, in one's element is to be in a situation or environment where one is perfectly comfortable, uh, confident, happy, because it aligns with their entire thing, with their skill, maybe with their interest, maybe with their personality, with everything. It just aligns. So when we say I am in my element, that means I'm comfortable here, I like it here, it's so good. मतलब जैसे कि आप अपने घर पे हो तो बेसिकली अपने घर पे you will be in your element, right? So comfortable and competent in a particular situation. It can be anything, formal, informal, anything. He's in his element teaching advanced physics. Nice. Alright, so this was all for today, but because this was in one's element, so हम और भी, there can be more idioms, for example, in a heartbeat, let's say, in a heartbeat, मतलब immediately, without hesitation, right? You must have heard in the spotlight. In the spotlight, basically receiving public attention or maybe scrutiny. That's when you use in the spotlight. In bad faith, you must have heard, basically acting deceitful or with ulterior motives. That's when you use bad faith, in bad faith. और इसी का उल्टा हो जाएगा in good faith, ठीक है? Then there can be in vogue, which means popular or fashionable at a given time. That's when you use in vogue. Then there can be in the doldrum. This one's my favorite, so I did not write it here, but it's not my favorite because of its meaning. The meaning is bad because the meaning is basically depressed. Meaning is listless, stagnant state. That's in the doldrum. उसका मतलब, but doldrum, I don't know why I like this word. For example, I really like ragdoll, right? That's one of the yoga poses, one of the yoga asanas that we do, ragdoll. So that's why. But doldrum is something that I like, but the meaning is depressed, so I don't really like the meaning. Then there can be in no time, which means very quick, very in the blink of an eye, right? That's when we use in no time. Then there can be in stitches, which means laughing uncontrollably. मतलब इस तरीके से हंस रहे हो कि पता ही नहीं है तुम्हें. Then there can be in cold blood, which means deliberately, without feeling. It is often used in a violent context, in cold blood, right? Then there can be in the long run. These are a few idiom and phrases that you must have heard. In the long run, which means eventually, considering a long period. That's when you use in the long run. Then you can use in black and white, which means clearly written or documented or unambiguous, right? Ekdam in black and white, right? It's like crystal clear. Then there can be in the dark, which means uninformed, or maybe, for example, you kept me in the dark, so you did not inform me, I was unaware of some important information, right? Then there can be in the loop, very famous. So in the loop, when you keep somebody in the loop, that means you kept them informed, you told them about the important part, they were the part of an important circle, so you kept them in loop. So in the loop or in the dark, ये basically ये दोनों opposites हो गए, right, in a way, है ना. Then there can be in the driver's seat, you must have heard, which means in control of a situation. Basically you're in charge, right. Then there can be icing on the cake, very easy, very frequently you must have heard it, and you must use it also. Icing on the cake basically means a pleasant extra something, right, that actually something extra that makes a good situation even better. That's when you use icing on the cake, right. Then there can be more, maybe I don't remember more. In one's head, yeah, in one's head is also one of the phrases, which actually means that तुम्हारे दिमाग में ही है, मतलब ये, it's not out there maybe, but yeah. So yeah, if you remember more, just write them down. I will be happy to learn, happy to know, and I'll see you in the next session. All the best and love you all. Bye bye.